everyone, I am Norse Scorpio and welcome to Ars Harmonia. It's another one of the 2014 indie game competition thingy majiggery entries. The description is mere days after a murder, something like that, and things are becoming weird again. This looks like a very story-based game instead of like action and stuff, so like visual novel. So I was very interested in it because I like that kind of stuff.
Help!
Ooh, and it's even got voice acting. The prey's desperate cries echoed in the still darkness of the city, but only the huntress could hear them. The girl fled across the rain-soaked rooftop, but soon found herself trapped. There was no way she could make the jump to the next roof over. Panicking, she turned around and caught her first look at her pursuer's face. There was no sympathy to be found in the white-haired woman's piercing gaze. The white-haired woman steadied her blood-stained weapon, a slender silver sword, and took off toward her, intent on closing the distance between them and engaging her in battle.
Stay away from me, you freak! I didn't do anything to you!
Clutching her wound, the girl felt sticky blood flow between her fingers. The gash stung, but it wasn't hurting nearly as bad as it had minutes ago. In fact, it was already almost healed. She was starting to see some of the benefits to the changes that her body had begun to undergo. But the huntress was undeterred. The white-haired woman drew another sword and took off towards her again, leaving her with no choice but to jump. Her right ankle shattered as soon as her feet hit the pavement, but it was a small price to pay in exchange for her life. Seemingly unfazed by the pain, she bolted down a nearby alley. Behind her, she heard the sound of the white-haired woman's boots touching down gracefully upon the pavement before resuming their tireless pursuit. Her heart pounded in her chest as she ran into the shadowy alley, desperate to escape death at the hands of the white-haired woman. Up ahead, she could see where the alley ended. She was nearly home free. Just a little further. The girl stepped on a half-empty, discarded beer bottle someone had left in the alley and lost her footing, falling into a puddle just shy of the street on the other side of the alley. The white-haired woman tore through the distance between them in an instant as the girl struggled back onto her feet, feeling her death approaching like a bolt of lightning, powerful and indiscriminate. The girl cried out into the night.
Someone help! Please!
But she knew that no one would come. She was no longer worthy of help. The sound of footsteps came to an end. The girl tried to crawl away, but a sudden, piercing pain shot through her ankle. She attempted to drag her body away, but the shadow of death that loomed over her. Wait, what? She attempted to drag her body away from the shadow of death that loomed over her, but it was useless. An ever sharper pain shot through her foot as she tried to move. Moving was impossible. The white-haired woman had nailed her foot in place with a knife. Ow! Seeing the shadow of the white-haired woman lifting her sword, the girl braced herself for the finishing blow. She looked down at the ground, not wanting her killer's face to be the last thing she ever saw.
I'm sorry, Mira.
Even though she knew her final words would never reach their recipient, she refused to die without voicing her final regret.
That's the one! Put the sword down!
Ooh. Strange voices. Angry voices. Sure, fucking... When the white-haired woman failed to comply, she was showered by a hail of gunfire. Fresh blood split from the wounds that bloomed across her body. Seizing this opportunity, the girl grasped the handle of the knife sheathed in her foot, With a shriek of pain, she tore it out, dyeing the puddle red with the resulting mess. Without hesitating for a second, she turned and sprinted off into the night, barely limping, in spite of the gruesome damage her foot had just sustained. Hearing the sounds of cloth moving, she turned her head as she ran to confirm her fears. In spite of her numerous gunshot wounds she had just sustained, the white-haired woman stood up. Barely hindered by her injuries, she began to give chase once more. This time, the cop didn't stop emptying bullets into her until she collapsed onto the wet pavement. At last, she went still. Ooh, what's gonna happen now? This is what I'm talking about. No, bad. Answer your damn phone.
Dr. Eigerman speaking. May I ask who's calling?
Oh, I should click.
Eric, it's me.
Do you have any idea what time it is here?
Indeed, we're in the same time zone this time.
What? Oh. This
Where are you
time.
calling from?
Right out front.
A morgue in Farpoint.
Oh.
Let me guess.
I wish it would just keep going on its own.
Yes, I need you to get me out of here.
Oh, this is the white-haired woman.
At 4 a.m.
Yes?
It can't wait, can it?
What is going on?
The things I do for you.
Voice acting's not too bad. Kind of cheesy. Early the next morning, they arrived at a local hotel. The white-haired woman winced with every step she took, her gait awkward like a drunkard's. Eric held onto her arm and guided her to the bed, which she promptly collapsed onto with a grunt of pained effort. What, no words this time, Eric? It's unusual to see you in the up. It must be one heck of a case to bring you this far south. Can we save the banter until after you've cut me open? Whoa, what's happening? Straight to the juicy part tonight. Have it your way. If you had to fly me out to see you, then it must be pretty bad. I've only seen you bedridden once before. Poison? Bullets. Bullets? You're usually pretty good about taking bullets. How many? 35. 35? What in the name of... Did you get caught up in a gang war? Worse. Police. They came at the wrong time and my prey escaped. She clenched her fist in it. She clenched her fist in annoyance as she recalled the events of the previous night. But even that small exertion caused fresh waves of pain to course through her body, prompting a grimace. I'm sure my odd sounds when I fuck up are really adding to the dramaticness of the event. Did they take anything from you? The two made small talk as Eric removed her clothes and began to examine her body, which, aside from numerous patches of discoloration, appeared to be completely untarnished. They took everything. I need new equipment. Eric used black marker to draw a number of small X's across her body. I'm going to get started. Ready when you are. The white-haired woman placed a hand over her face and gazed up at the ceiling as Eric made the first incision. She winced as the procedure began, but it was one she had become reluctantly familiar with. One by one, Eric removed the bullets which were trapped inside her previously unmarked body. I'll need to borrow your cross. Without my equipment, I don't have a way to finish it off. She continued the conversation, even as he dug into her body. Occasionally, a moan of pain interrupted her speech. Once in a while, she flinched, but experience had helped her discipline her body to stay calm, Even when under the duress of extreme pain, this was nothing. I thought it was for my protection. This is more important. A demon in a city of this size will cause serious problems. A demon? In the up? I'm gonna keep calling it that. I thought you said they'd never turn up here. They don't. That's why I'm here. Can't you get your supplier at Belmont to make you a new sword? He's dead. What happened to him? I did. Oh, you saucy minx. That seems to happen to a lot of your partners. I hope I'm not next. Eric paused to take a drink of water, leaving obscene red handprints on the bottle. He glanced at his partner, who coolly returned his gaze in spite of the gruesome state of her body, its delicate surface marred by cuts and streaks of red. Is it going to happen to me? If I tell you not to meddle, then don't meddle. For as long as you can abide by that rule, your life is in no danger from me. That doesn't sound very hard. You say that now, Eric, but what happens when she comes for your daughter? Sooner or later, everyone meddles. Has anyone ever told you that you're jaded? Sighing, Eric went back to work and cut into her thigh. That makes 35. He works quickly. Putting down his tools, Eric stood up and stretched his back. He thoughtlessly wiped a bead of sweat from his brow with a bloody hand, painting a streak of scarlet across his forehead. Is it safe to let go? Just a minute. Let me collect my payment. What the fuck's he gonna do? After removing his bloody gloves, Eric produced a camera from his pocket and began to circle the mess of a bed that had served as his ad hoc operating table. Like an artist inspecting a recently completed masterpiece, he drank in the scarlet streaked sight with a look of intensity and appraisal. This guy's fucking creepy. Truly, his patient's flawless body was a canvas upon which he painted a new great work. This one far more magnificent than his last. His new piece spoke to him with such fervor that it sent his heart aflame with exultation, nearly sweeping him from his feet with euphoric wonderment. My God, it's transcendent. 1,000, no, 1,000,000 of history's finest paintings can't even approximate this beauty. The bitter realization that his work would soon be erased permanently brought him back down from his state of ecstasy. Sighing, he went to work doing the only thing he could to preserve his art. The woman, who had once become the canvas upon which his morbid artist had drawn a new outlandish creation, gazed wistfully off into the distance at his instruction. Although she had long since discarded her sense of embarrassment, the cold eye of Eric's camera, as he feverishly snapped pictures of her nude and mangled form, never ceased to rekindle shame's long-forgotten flames. Somehow, the knowledge that the ritual was born of pure artistic expression rather than erotic obsession made it all the more mortifying. Ah, my friend, truly we are the world's greatest avant-gardes. No one in the world has ever pushed the boundaries defining art like us, and I owe it all to you, my dear partner, my muse, my easel, and my masterpiece. I'm the most creepy motherfucker you'll ever meet. Eric sighed with emotion once he was satisfied with the collection of pictures, cradling the camera in his arms like a newborn. Can we discuss the profundity of your art after I've healed? I'm still bleeding, and I'd rather stop. Yes, do what you wish. I won't cry, even if you destroy my creation mere minutes after its completion. Smother my newborn fresh from the wound. I won't cry. I won't. The white-haired woman sighed and removed her hand from her head. Immediately, the countless incisions in her body began to close. Soon, there was no evidence left at all that she had just been the subject of a rather gruesome surgery, save for the blood that was still smeared across her body. Once her body was fully restored, she slowly sat upright and flexed her left arm. How do you feel? Good as new. I appreciate it, Eric. Well, it had to be done sooner or later. Or sooner or lever. Oh, you won't do a very good job sneaking up on demons when you're jingling like a penny jar. I crack myself up. Spare your thanks for when I've immortalized you as the subject of the greatest work of art mankind has ever known. Stick to what you're good at. She stood up and made for the bathroom. As an artist, I resent that, but as a medical practitioner, thank you. Still, this insult to my talents will not soon be forgotten. Oh, shut the fuck up, Eric. Without another word, she entered to the bathroom to shower, leaving him to his ranting. Farpoint's a big city. How are you planning to track down the demon? I only have one lead. Before it managed to escape, it mentioned a name, Fira. Ooh. That's it? No surname? No, only Fira. Fortunately, it isn't a pretty common name. Who is this Fira? Most likely a friend, or perhaps a lover. A minor, I would suppose. Well, that's something. Is there anything I can do to help? No, I'll be fine by myself. I'll be here if you need me. Autosave.
Terminated.